That's right. The official sponsor of Highway 34 Connection, the podcast, is W Energy, a clean energy to help you be better. W Energy. Try it today.
Hey everybody, it's the Chief with Insidious. Before we get into what we are discussing today, want to let you know we are going to be doing a segment during a couple podcasts a week. I'm going to start it today with one. We'll see if Insidious can guess it, and then when Ghost joins us, we'll do it again to see if he can guess it and how many clues it takes. So with that said, it is now time. Yes, the wrestler. All right, so I'm going to give you some clues. I have a list of the wrestler's accomplishments. It can be from any company. However, this one is currently in WWE. He is a one-time ROH World Champion. He is a two-time ROH Tag Team Champion. And I'll let you have 3 guesses if you think you can guess it. This one I didn't know. He is a one-time National Wrestling Alliance Midwest Tag Team Champion.
Theme song, maybe?
Still no clue?
No.
He is a one-time NXT champion.
I don't watch NXT, so that don't help me.
Okay, he is a 6-time combined WWE Tag Team Champion.
Robbie Roode?
No. He is a 2-time Intercontinental Champion.
Theory?
No. He is a 2-time United States Champion.
Bobby Lashley.
There's 3. A 2-time WWE Champion. Okay, how about a 2-time Universal Champion?
Randy Orton. Then I'm out.
He's won more WWE titles than 4. He is a one-time Mr. Money in the Bank.
Chris Jericho?
He's never won it, even though it was his creation. He's a one-time Royal Rumble winner.
Oh, fucking A.
He is Pro Wrestling Illustrated's most hated wrestler in 2015 and 2020.
The Miz?
You suck at this. He is Pro Wrestling Illustrated's Wrestler of the Year in 2015. So he was the most hated and he was the Wrestler of the Year in 2015.
Dolph Ziggler.
He is married to a former Raw Women's Champion.
Well, that don't help.
This next clue is going to give it away, and it's not even on here. He is from Davenport, Iowa.
Seth fucking Rollins.
We're from Iowa. You should have known the first one I was going to do was going to be Seth.
Not really, because my next guess would have been Big E, and that was Iowa's defensive end.
Yeah. But no, the one that caught me off guard out of all of those is the NWA Midwest Tag Champion.
Fair enough.
Now, I did read that his 2 ROH Tag Team titles reigns were with Jimmy Jacobs.
So what's the next one you got?
The next superstar, I haven't looked any up yet. He's the only one that I've done so far. We're going to see if Ghost can try to see how far the Ghost will go with guessing. But I could look another one up if you want to try out someone else.
No need. But topic at hand states the Crippler, as most of you know, or if you're wrestling fans, know who the Crippler is and know who he was. and what he was about. So what we're going to do until the ghost gets here is we're going to talk about our favorite moments, our favorite promos, and a few of our favorite matches of Chris the Crippler Benoit. So we'll start with Chief on his favorite moment.
There's too many to count. I'm actually looking up some stuff because it's been so long since I've looked up stuff for Chris Benoit. Oh.
Hold on. I'm going to have to mute this real quick and head upstairs for a moment.
Everything okay?
Sounds like they're going to fall through my ceiling.
Ah.
Can you hear it?
No.
That's a good thing then. So, that's a good thing. But my favorite one when he was here in Des Moines and did the whole MVP this scenario. And I actually got to meet him that day, which was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I've met Chris too.
But what holds that part so freaking close though is meeting him in person. You wouldn't think any of that was possible or even near possible, and I still don't believe it is possible, but that's just me.
What's possible?
Chris.
What do you mean?
If you're meeting him in person, you wouldn't think he'd ever would have done what he's accused of doing.
I miss.
Oh, no.
Nothing really.
We just did a segment called Guess the Wrestler. That's
And
the
then
only thing you
talking
missed.
about our favorite moments of Chris and promos and stuff like that.
Mhm.
We haven't started anything yet.
Give me a minute.
So you can go ahead and give Ghost his Guess the Wrestler.
I will once he puts his phone down.
Only if you're going to do it too.
I already did
Since I'm the one that Insidious already did.
Well, I want to see it.
Well,
You want to
you
run
should have been on time.
I was on time. You're the one that says 7:30, 8 o'clock. If anything, you're not on time.
Anywho, so here's your clues. You have 3 guesses. He guessed like 6 people before I finally gave him the clue that gave it away. He is a one-time ROH World Champion. And no cheating.
I'm not. But I kind of need. How many hints do I get?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 on my list.
I meant hints of the people, like hints for each person.
It's
Oh,
only
how
one
many
person.
guesses?
Hint of the one person.
Okay, wow. He's one of our champions. Supposed to guess by just that?
He is a 2-time ROH Tag Team Champion. Actually, the very first clue I gave him was that he's currently in WWE, but yeah. Any guesses yet, or you want me to keep going?
I'm thinking.
Because this next clue, I didn't even know about it. He's a one-time NWA Midwest Tag Champion.
Is he currently? You say he's currently in WWE, but is he like currently doing anything in WWE?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
What are you doing?
Okay.
Looks like you're trying to look up stuff because I can see a white screen on your glasses.
That's what I was about to say.
The whole thing is white, dude. Do you want me to screen share? Shit.
No, that's fine.
Next clue.
He is a one-time NXT champion.
The only people I know that were in WWE and NXT were, the members of the UE, but Undisputed Era, but I don't think Roderick Strong held the NXT title. I know he held the Ring of Honor title. Seth Rollins.
It
took me
four in, and you can guessed it. 6-time WWE Tag Champion, 2-time IC US WWE Universal Champion, Money in the Bank Royal Rumble winner, Pro Wrestling's Wrestler of the Year, and Most Hated in 2015 and 2020.
The only reason why it took me a minute is because I'm thinking Seth Rollins. I forgot. I gotta go with Tyler Black. Yeah.
That's where I was kind of hoping I would stump you by bringing in ROH, but it didn't work.
All right, next.
Nope, there isn't a next one. So.
Not today.
Nope, not today.
Oh.
So I just got to remember, don't do a Seth Rollins next time.
Did he get it, Seth Rollins?
Yeah, after I did all these and said he is from Davenport, Iowa.
Oh, so I got it before he did, so that's the point for me.
Yeah, you came in you said your answer about the time he gave me his third answer.
Because I was going down all the people that I knew that were in both companies. I knew Samoa Joe was. I knew the Undisputed Era was.
Watch NXT,
Daniel Bryan.
So I don't know any of this, and I barely watch Ring of Honor. So.
All right.
Now, if he was to say something about TNA, I'd probably know. All right, now that everybody's here, let's get
Hold on.
You know what? I've been waiting for this all fucking day.
It's not my fault you guys tried to go early, try to screw me out.
If Chief had his way, we would have waited about an hour ago.
Well, actually, if we had a Chief's way, we would have done it at 8 o'clock, like he called me and told me.
Well, we figured it means none of us had anything to do, and we didn't know what you were doing, so that's why we messaged you.
I kind of figured I could take my wife out to a movie since she had to work yesterday. Trying to be a good
and
husband.
We still waited. And we still waited, didn't we? Now, we could have been dicks and went without you. Like Chief wanted to do.
Stop trying to throw me underneath the bus, asshole.
Why are you trying to blame me? It's not my fault.
Blame who? We're not blaming anybody.
So is your wife able to join us?
Yeah, but I have to make the official promise, no webcam on her.
Okay. We didn't say she had to be on camera.
I know. I was just throwing that out there. Right now I'm trying to link it, get onto it with her phone, but it's not letting me. Like I'm on the messenger thing. And I go StreamYard, but entering the studio.
Is she going to be downstairs? If she's going to be right next to you, you don't have to do that. We could hear her voice.
Or just Facebook call her. She can just chime in.
Because if she's going to be in the same room, you don't have to have her in on StreamYard.
Nope, she's pissed me.
What'd you do now?
I held the door open.
What?
Okay, so we were at the movie theater. There were like 3 people coming up behind us. I was trying so here's because of her height. Usually I open the door like this. She walks underneath me. That way I'm protecting her. But there was a few people behind me, and I was about ready to hit one of them with my other elbow in the head. I'm like, okay, don't want to do that. So I'm trying to reposition myself so I could hold the door open for everybody, my wife and the 3 included. And my wife's like, my wife starts going the opposite direction and almost clunks herself into the door. And I'm like, why didn't you go the other way? Can't you tell try to open the door with like, oh Michael, why are we going that way? To open the door for the other people. Why?
Yeah, why?
Because when there's 3 girls right behind you, it's a gentleman thing to hold the door open.
There it is.
Had nothing to do with that.
And there's why she's mad at you.
Had nothing to do with that.
What the?
She's pissed because she almost walked into the door and I didn't tell her what I was doing. That's what she just told me. Give me 1 second.
That's the reason she's going to tell you, but it ain't the real reason.
Until he gets back, I'm removing him, so if they start fighting, we're not going to hear it, since he doesn't ever mute his mic.
Well, we can do that for him. But really, what's the point? I'm intrigued.
Me too. And I bet our 5 listeners are probably intrigued too.
Hey, can we do a news layout on this?
Ghost gets killed by the angel.
And we have the opportunity to be witnesses.
I don't think that would happen, but still.
Either did this conspiracy theory we're about to cover.
Oh yeah, I guess I could change the logo, huh? I will let anybody that's watching or going to be listening to this later on Spotify. At some point, you might see me and Insidious together or separate do a just chatting stream. On here, you may even see my wife and I do a taste testing. So there is that. I'm not sure how soon.
Yes. There.
There's her face anyway.
Shut up.
She's going to kill you.
She's gonna hurt him. If you go to kill him, make sure you unmute your camera first.
Can you hear me?
Oh my god. Oh, I don't want to be on webcam, and then you choose a picture that has her.
Heidi, you may kill the ghost when you see your picture in the StreamYard.
Oh, this is gonna be so fucked up. Whew. This is so funny.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
I am going to be playing a video here in a minute, listing some of Chris's accomplishments and a couple of his themes that are mashed up together. Again, we don't own the rights to the music. There will be a disclaimer at the end. There will be a disclaimer at the end of the video shouting out where the music and mashup came from and what YouTube channel I used it from. So with that said, we'll be back here in a minute and 13 seconds.
Special athlete, a hellacious competitor, is Chris Benoit, training his two hard stunts. The physical toughness of Benoit is unparalleled. There is no one
I do love that video, by the way.
Took me about 5 minutes. You wanted to do this, so Insidious, I'm going to hand the reins over to you.
Where to start? I mean,
Well, it's always best to start at the beginning.
start at the beginning. Fuck.
Like, this happened, and you didn't believe a word that happened.
Maybe I did not believe it. It's the idea of how the media portrayed it, first off, and how.
You want me to read what it says online about this to fill everybody in?
Hold on a second.
Okay.
It's not about what we believe. It's about how we're perceptive of it. And we're noticing that a lot with what we have covered. Am I not correct? But the thing is that is interesting about Chris's is how the media, that's all they have on him. You can go back to 2004, 2003, 2001 and try to type in any news of Chris. It's all going to come back to this one thing that we're going to talk about. No matter what you type in on the internet, it's going to come back to this. I have dug and dug and dug for anything of his past. And all I get is this one thing that they want to talk about. Okay, go say. I mean, Chief, I seen you were telling me to hold
on. As the video said, it said he was a Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Famer in 2003. They did have a vote in 2008, a revote to see if they wanted to keep him into that Hall of Fame. And because the percentage of votes required to remove Benoit was not met, he is still a two-time Hall of Famer via Wrestling, Stampede Wrestling, and Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame.
If I'm going to go back to the beginning of this, so I want to read something here that I thought was kind of interesting. For those of people out there who doesn't know who David Benoit is, it's his son. It's his oldest son. And since he's now been able to speak freely, he's been doing that quite well. And one thing that he talks about, and I just want to pinpoint this. David was a guest on an edition of Chris Van Vliet's show. And one thing he talked about was at one point during the interview, David revealed that his father had an opportunity to be more involved in WWE behind the scenes, but he didn't go through with it. And which is funny is because in that same interview, David talks about how his dad was talking about retirement and opening up his own wrestling school around this whole time. So, and also what's weird about it is he asked his dad to retire and he's like, well, I'm thinking about it. So I'm trying to channel my mind as Chris's mind of why in the hell would I be set to retire, ready to retire, and then I decide to go out and do the most horrible thing I could ever think of. And I cannot find one damn answer.
And the night does this happen, he was actually supposed to win his second WWE World title.
And that's what doesn't make sense. Like, none of it really does.
To catch everybody up, I'm going to read this piece real quick. In a 3-day double murder-suicide, Benoit murdered his wife in the residence on June 22nd, 2007, killed his 7-year-old son on June 23rd, and committed suicide on June 24th. And subsequent research undertaken by Sports Legacy Institute, now the Concussion Legacy Foundation, suggested that depression and chronic traumatic, a condition of brain damage and numerous concussions that Benoit had sustained during his professional wrestling career were both likely contributing factors of the crimes. Due to the murder, Benoit's legacy in professional wrestling industry has remained incredibly controversial and heavily debated. Benoit has been renowned by many for his exceptional technique and wrestling ability. Prominent combat sports journalist Dave Meltzer considers Benoit one of the top 10, maybe even in the top 5 of the greatest all time in the pro wrestling history. Now, I don't know what these other three are going to say I understand why most people don't want Benoit mentioned with pro wrestling because of what he did outside of the ring. But my take is what he does in the ring is Hall of Fame worthy. What he has done outside the ring, obviously, yeah.
It needs to be free, by the way. Oh, he's talking about the chicken out for really, Hugo?
But go ahead, Insidious. I'm disregarding that comment for a reason.
Yeah, I can tell. Some of the things I'm gonna talk about will
Go, stop it.
some of the things I'm going to talk about are facts, truth, and
Yes, he is.
facts and truth mostly. Okay. Now, I have read multiple conspiracy theories on this, and a lot of them trying to dethrone everything the news has said, including make up their own stories that Nancy was shot and so was David. First off, I have not seen any evidence of that, no matter how much I search the internet. I can even go all the way back into the police had his phone turned off. That one was accurate. I did find that one. But the one part that gets me is this guy that was on Wikipedia. I want to start there because that seems to be the best place to start. Now, for a lot of people who don't know, there was a guy that was actually updating their Wikipedias before they even found the bodies. And the funny thing is, CBS covered it, but CBS turned around and said, we have the guy's name and we will be releasing it within 2 to 3 days. So I follow up on that 2 to 3 days later. Guess what? The guy's name never revealed. They put a gag order on him. Didn't point his name out there. And I'm trying to figure out why. Why don't they want this guy's name out there? So TMZ interviewed him, I want to say in 2009. I found it. I'll see if I can refind it. But they have him as unnamed or anonymous. So I'm trying to figure out, why is he anonymous? Like, what's so special about this guy? Like, does he maybe work for the company? Who knows? Considering he was but a half a block away from Stamford, Connecticut's home office. So anyways, I'm going to read that real quick. It says, a statement regarding Nancy Benoit's death was added to Chris Benoit's English Wikipedia article 14 hours before police discovered the bodies of Benoit and his family. This seemingly presented an addition was initially reported on Wiki News and later on Fox News. The article originally read, Chris was replaced by Johnny Nitro for ECW World Championship match at Vengeance, and Benoit was not there due to personal issues, stemming from the death of his wife, Nancy. The phrase stemming from the death of his wife, Nancy, was added at 4:01 a.m. on June 25th. Whereas the Fayette County Police reported discovery of the bodies of the Benoit family at 2:30, 10 hours and 29 minutes later. The IP address of the editor was traced to Stamford, Connecticut, which is also the location of WWE headquarters. After the news of the early death notice reached out mainstream media, the anonymous poster accessed Wikipedia news to explain his edit as a huge coincidence and nothing more. Police detectives seized the computer equipment from the man held responsible for the postings, called the postings an unbelievable hindrance to their investigation, but believe he was otherwise uninvolved, declining to press charges. The man had found several rumors online which supported his theory about the Benoit family emergency, and as reported to Wrestling News. The IP from which he made the edit was traced to vandalizing the Wikipedia entries for. Man, I don't even want to read those up, and I'm not. He also reverted vandalism to Chavo Guerrero and recorded a loss for the Golden State Warriors. So I'm trying to figure out how this guy was not part of their investigation. And go. Ghost, you got anything?
Nope.
Heidi? Nope. Chief?
That is a very good question. They should have investigated this dude further. If he's typing away, editing a Wikipedia before anything's found, seems fishy.
Yeah, well, that ain't the funny thing.
Very.
If I would have continued reading, you would have got a little bit more freaked out over that. Because he's also done it to Stacy Keebler.
Who's still alive.
Yep. So now I will get into the reports of their autopsy. So, and these do get graphic, so you might want to put that on there. If they're not down to hear this. Just somewhere. Because I'll start with Nancy's first, so I'll switch over to Chris's. Oh, and they said something else too that I couldn't find. Supposedly it was a phone call with Chavo that there was a 45-minute conversation between him and Chavo. This is out of another conspiracy theory. Once again, I could not find these. So if you can find them, please put that in the description. I would love to know this. But there was supposedly a 45-minute conversation. In the middle of that conversation, Chavo witnessed him open the door and some screaming and yelling back and forth between him and somebody else. And then the phone dropped. And then Chavo later got a phone call back that didn't sound like Chris. He kind of groggy, kind of drunk. Really? But okay. I'm going to start with Nancy's here first. Like I said, these are kind of graphic, so fair warning. I'm not screen sharing these because, well, I'm just not. So they have her down as a homicide of manner death, which I would also quite say would be accurate. So I want to go with injuries because that's where I want to start with us. So a quarter-inch wide ligature furrow surrounds the entire neck. It remains horizontal around the entire base of the neck. The skin within the furrow is pale and red. Around the neck are two tight ligabures. One of the ligabures is a tan rope, which is a quarter-inch wide, 54 inches long. It is looped twice around the neck and there are 2 knots at one of the ends of the rope. The rope is tied at the mid position of the neck. The rope is intertwined with another rope, which is a 5 and 16-inch wide, 54 inches long coax cable. The coax cable is looped around the entire neck once, with one extended along the upper left back and the other end extended along the upper right back. The 2 ends are tied around the left wrist and right hand, with the knot position between both hands. There are marks, compressed marks on both wrists and the right palm. As the S cable is tied 3 times around both wrists and knotted on the wrist. It is 1/8 inch wide and 48 inches long. There is ligature marks around both wrists. There is black tape and black electrical charger looped multiple times around both ankles. The electrical charger, black tape, S cable rope are considered to evidence. I want to stop there for a second. Now, you guys might have heard me talk about this. Benoit weighed how much? I believe they
I
said
don't know, 220, 230, give or take.
I thought that's what they said, 240 on the initial report. But
I thought it was
anyways,
238.
like I said, almost 240, somewhere around there. Why would he have to bound his wife? He would have no need to do that with as big as he is.
The only thing I can think of is when you're being killed, maybe the adrenaline to stay alive makes you stronger. I mean, it's just that story that they would tell you where, like a mother is able to lift a giant tree off her baby.
But yeah, I get that, but that is fear and adrenaline. This is overkill. This is a statement. This is hatred. This has nothing to do with that. This is like complete hatred.
No. You're asking why would he need to do that to her? I'm just saying if she fought back, maybe he would have to go.
Fight back is an understatement. He wouldn't have a reason to bound her and tie her up unless she was to stop him from doing something, which is, I think, was the initial part of the police. But if he was going to bound her up because she was going to stop him, then why kill her?
One second.
And why 2 cords? Chief, your thoughts?
Only thing I can think of was just to prevent her from trying to run away.
Well, that was my initial thought. But 2 ropes around the neck, plus her hands bound. Then they said he put his knee into her back and continued to pull up until she passed out or passed away. But the cables around the neck, that doesn't make sense to me if that's initially was his plan. Because he would need to tie her up to do that. Because again, how big that guy is and how much
I'm serious. Can you hold for 1 second? Do you know how to turn up the volume on this thing if you use a phone?
Turn your phone volume up.
Yeah, turn your phone volume
Oh,
up.
wait, I found it.
Dan, we went from having a lot of people in here to now 4.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Dark Angel said hell of it.
It sounds like they're having a technical difficulty, I think.
Yep, normal with the ghost.
Little NFL update. Kittle was limping of the 49ers on the sideline.
Ooh, that's not good.
Not for good San Fran.
But anywho, back to our topic here. Do you have any ideas?
Like I've told you this since me and you first talked about it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago?
Yeah. Yes, I've wanted to do this long.
that it's everything you've showed me is fishy.
I'm not going to get into the crime scene photos because let's face it, the ones that I need to show are AWOL. They removed them. I can't show them. They're gone. So I could do YouTube, but I don't particularly want to do YouTube. So you left her camera on there, Ghost.
Mute your mic. On StreamYard, Ghost. Fine, I'll do it.
I already did.
And then I muted him again. There you go.
He unmuted himself. So.
All right.
So back with this, I have struggled with this over and over again with the way she was bound. I just don't see with a guy that loved his wife that much and even got into a physical altercation for her would do something that bad. I mean, that's like pure hatred to what was done. I don't know. It just doesn't sit well with me, and I will continue on with why.
Well, they said he wasn't right in the mind. Could have been a rage.
I thought that, but I will get to those here in a second. Focal hemorrhage on the right side of her tongue. So eventually she bit her tongue at one point. There is hemorrhaging throughout the soft tissue of the upper chest and in an interior neck, as well as focal hemorrhaging within the thyroid gland, hemorrhaging within the soft tissue of the interior aspect of the posterior neck and upper portion of the back. Blunt impact of the head. There is a marked hemorrhage in the right side of her head. So, which is funny because that's not mentioned in any report. And to my understanding, there is no nothing that they've ever even said in the police report of her being hit with anything or nothing around her that would even be hard. So, but it does say there was blunt impact of extremities. Multiple purple contusions are on the legs and right buttock as followed. So what gets me is back to my initial point. She was beaten. And that's what I don't understand. Like whoever did it took their time. And that's why it seems like hatred to me. But now I'll get into his. And well, wait a minute. Let me see. There's one more thing I needed to know real quick. Yeah, there we go. So there is a half-inch diameter on the right thigh, which is these are all bruises, by the way. Another half-inch diameter on the right thigh. So both those are on the in and outer right thigh, and multiple 1/4 to 2 inch on the right knee, and a 1/4 inch in diameter on the interior mid right leg, 1.5 inch diameter on the interior right buttock, 1 times 3/4 inch. 1.25 inch on the medial left thigh, 1.5 by 1/4 inch on the left thigh. So that's what I'm saying. None of this makes sense. Like you can definitely tell she was beaten pretty bad. Pretty much enough to make her wish she was dead. Which is what I'm having trouble understanding. Multiple abrasions on her. There is a pattern abrasion over 1.5 inch on the interior right ankle, which would probably be from the electrical cord or whatever happened. So with that being said, there is no signs of self-defense wounds on her from what they are saying in this report.
Can I read something for you real quick?
Yep, go ahead.
This is from Bleacher Report. I have been a wrestling fan now for 30 years. I remember watching Chris Benoit when he started out in Stampede Wrestling. I cannot tell you how sad I was to hear about the death of him and his family. But a lot of what I'm hearing just doesn't make sense, and it's getting more bizarre all the time. I wouldn't want to stay in a home if my wife and I were arguing all the time. I'd want to be out of the house as much as I could. 1 week later, they were all dead. What changed? Let's look at the chain of events. Benoit was at his doctor's office on Friday, where he took pictures with fans that would turn out to be the last images taken of him alive. The pictures I saw were not of a man that was going home to kill his family. But then again, what would that look like? Benoit allegedly killed his wife Nancy upon returning from the doctor's office. She was found 3 days later with her hands and feet bound. Why? What happened between the time Benoit left the office and the time Nancy was killed? Benoit allegedly stayed in the house with his son while his wife lay dead. Sometime Saturday or early Sunday, he strangled his son to death. How twisted is that? All the footage I ever saw indicated that Benoit loved this boy. How does someone go from loving father to monster? The strangest part of the stories involved the posting of news about Nancy's death on Benoit's Wikipedia page 14 hours before the bodies were found. The anonymous poster has claimed since that it was just a matter of a tragic coincidence. I'm not so sure. Finally, there is an issue of Benoit's suicide. It has been reported that Chris may have consumed as many as 10 beers and bottles of wine before hanging himself with home and gym equipment. I'm a lot bigger than Chris, and I know I wouldn't have been able to rig something up like that with so much alcohol in my system. The point here is, how can we be sure that this isn't a triple murder made to look like a murder-suicide? What better way to get back at someone than to kill him and his family and destroy his reputation at the same time? Maybe it's just my wishful thinking here. I just can't see how a great person like Chris Benoit could do such an awful thing. Chris, Nancy, and Daniel, you will surely be missed.
Well, that's what I was actually going to pinpoint into Chris's autopsy.
And I will say I agree with that post from Bleacher Report.
So I'm now in Chris's. So I will read this, and you guys tell me what you think. Okay, I'm just going into what they find. So, the extremities show no scars, overlaid about an 8-inch abrasion on. So this is what gets funny to me. Okay. And correct me if I'm wrong, we've already came to the conclusion his wife was beaten, pretty much tortured before she was killed, right?
Right.
Came to that? All right. Now, this is where stuff gets funny. This is, bear in mind, like I said, this is Chris's. A 1/8-inch diameter abrasion is on the lateral left arm, and 1/8-inch in diameter crusted abrasion is on the volar left arm. A 1/4-inch leaner abrasion is on the dorsal left hand. A 1/8-inch abrasion is on the dorsal left second finger, and 2 1/8 leaner abrasion is on the dorsal right hand. Multiple abrasions ranging in from 1/8 to 4 inches on both legs, and a 1/2-inch leaner abrasion on the left lateral malleolus, and a 1/4-inch diameter abrasion on the proximal left second toe, a 1/8-inch diameter abrasion on the proximal left third toe, and a 1/4-inch in diameter abrasion on the proximal left fourth toe. Those are self-defense moves. So who the hell was he fighting? David said something in an interview in that interview, I should say, that there was multiple rumors around that time that Chris fought somebody that day. But David said he couldn't confirm that if it was true.
Here's
Yes,
a question. And there's no way he would have maybe got any of those wounds if him and his wife were really going at it, right?
I don't think she's that strong.
I'll explain my little here in just a minute.
If honestly, to get those type of marks, would be in the remarks of literally like punching somebody in the face or getting teeth stuck in your hand.
Insidious, you've been known to defeat people that are bigger and stronger than you. Would you be capable of doing that to someone bigger and stronger than you?
Okay.
No, that was a yes or no.
In which way?
Anyway.
Okay.
If you're fighting for your life.
Hold on. For most viewers on here, no, I do have a very bad anger problem. But even I can get distraught sometimes or annoyed or angry. I never once have thought about tying somebody up to the point to where they cannot move and pretty much choking themselves with their arms.
Well, I get that.
But where I'm coming from is Chris weighed roughly 240 pounds. One hit, she's unconscious, bro. One fucking hit. You're going to tell me she fought her husband at 240 pounds and was almost willing to work him over that damn good? I don't buy that.
Well, I don't think you're not the only one that doesn't buy it. His own son doesn't believe it.
I know that.
In an interview in January 23rd of 2020, so 3 years ago tomorrow, he said that it wasn't him. He doesn't think it was ever him. That when he was initially told about the situation, he decked a cop.
Yeah, there is. There's a lot of stuff that's fishy about this one. The police reports. There's also another article that the guy who wrote the article initially believes that the police blamed it on his whole initial report, that's why they did what they did. Because he initially labeled it a double murder suicide, and he goes, within the next day, they ran with it. He said if he could go back and do it all over again, he wouldn't have done it. Because he believed that Chris did not get a fair investigation. All I know is the marks on him.
Then what's stopping him from reopening the investigation? Murders are not no statutory limitation on murder. There's cold cases all the time.
Fellow Canadian right there, and I agree with him.
Okay, Ghost, I'm going to counter and correct something because I've looked at both of these autopsy reports 4 different times. They never scraped under their nails for any DNA, rather than themselves. They didn't scrape underneath their fingernails for any DNA to see if it was really hers that was under his nails, seeing if his was under her nails. They didn't do any of that. That investigation was rushed. And you know what? You can't go back and do it now because they've been cremated. All 3 of them. So what's there to reopen? You don't have nothing to reopen. You can't exhume in a body that's not there.
Speculation.
But what's there to speculate now? I mean, we're speculating right now, but
the medical reports.
I just read them.
Exactly.
But I just know if I'm a detective and I look at these reports and I'm like, well, where's the DNA from under the nails? Oh, you didn't do it. Why didn't you do it? I mean, I just think the autopsy was rushed through. I think the whole investigation was rushed through, and it was easier to label it a double murder suicide because then you ain't got to worry about investigating.
They did do toxicology report on all of them, right?
Yep.
You're
Believe it or not, this is what's funny. I'm glad you actually brought that up because no alcohol was found in his system. But
didn't you say he just drank? Yes,
they did. They said there was beer cans and wine bottles.
Well, I don't know. Look, I don't drink. I don't know how long it takes for alcohol to go through a system.
You're dead, dude. You can't pee it out. It's there. Soaked in your liver. It's soaked in your kidneys. It's there.
I understand that, but let's say my point was, if he drank on Friday, would it be out of your system by Sunday?
All right, from what I'm reading right here, July 17th, 07. Toxicology reports in the Chris Benoit murder-suicide case indicate that the former WWE World Heavyweight Champion had steroids and other drugs in his body at the time of the incident. According to the chief medical investigator at Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the reports also determined that Benoit's 7-year-old son Daniel was sedated with Xanax when he was killed.
So I will get into the toxicology, means Michael asked. So.
College reports also revealed that Chris himself had Xanax and the painkiller hydrocodone in his body.
Oh, really?
While Benoit's wife, Nancy, had 3 drugs in her system at the time of her death: hydrocodone, hydromorphine, a byproduct of her body that breaks down the hydrocodone, and Xanax. Her blood alcohol level was 18.18.
Okay, so
it doesn't say anything about him having alcohol in his system.
So here's hers, okay? Because blood alcohol tests are unreliable. That's what it says here, due to the decompensation. So in her system was hydrocodone, which is legal amounts.
Actually,
hydroorphone, I don't know what the hell that one is. I know codone, but it was 26 milligrams. Alzazafram is the one they were saying that he used to sedate them, but all of these were in legal limits. And alzazafram was 23 micrograms. So I will get into Chris's real quick because I'll get into his.
Xanax, hydrocodone, and elevated levels of testosterone in his urine. That was all that was in him.
Actually, they have here,
his testosterone was 10 times the normal level.
Blood levels as alzazafram was 50.
Did you just say 10 times, Chief?
Yes. Hidster, if you're in here, just comment.
Hydrocodone, 40 micrograms, or however it is they worded it in here. But here is where it gets funny, Chief. There was an elevated of testosterone in his urine, with an elevated testosterone to epilotestosterone ratio, significantly an exogenous source of testosterone. So, yeah, we knew he was taking testosterone, which is not illegal. So, alzazafram, though, was more than what his son and his wife had, which would contain, I'm guessing, would be the point of his groggy state that he was in. So, legally, it takes 5 hours per 1 ounce of alcohol just to drive your car. Yes, pretty much. So, Chief, what are you doing? That's what I thought. So with that being said, I'm still trying to figure out why he had more in his system than his wife and son if they said he sedated them. Well, duh, we all know he's going to need more because he's a bigger guy. But what I'm trying to understand is why? Unless you needed to control.
You probably do that so they wouldn't fight back, I'm guessing.
Exactly. Now you're on my brainwave, Dark Angel.
Sorry, Headster was messaging my wife, and I was replying. He didn't realize we were live right now.
So, Dark Angel said what I said. Initially, you would give somebody more if you needed to control them from fighting back.
AKA sedate them, right?
Yes. But if Chris did this, why would he need more? I mean, if he's the one that did this, correct? Why would he dose himself more?
He has a higher tolerance, probably, so maybe he needed more.
But why? I mean, if he's going to kill himself, why would he care?
So he doesn't feel it when he kills himself.
Yeah, he didn't want to feel anything.
But remember, that's half sedation. That also makes you weaker because now you're tired. If he did it,
You would kill yourself.
You would need help. To physically do that in that state is almost like being drunk as hell. You would literally need help to do that. If you've ever been drunk and drank on an empty stomach and threw up, and you get that really tiredness afterwards, that's kind of the state he was in. So if you're feeling like that to where you can barely keep your head up, how the hell are you going to hang yourself? Your body isn't coherent enough. If that makes sense. So now I want to get into something.
What if it was already pre-set up for him before he grogged himself? To where all he had to do was just tie it around his neck. In that case, that way you wouldn't need nearly as much. Like, let's say the whole thing was already set up for him. All he had to do was just wrap it around his neck and then kick whatever. That wouldn't need as much, coordination.
Hold on, backing up. That's not what I want. Well, I was thinking that, but that makes no sense. All right. So I want to read this real quick here. Okay, where did that go? So I'm trying to find that article that I found here a while back about Kevin Sullivan and Chris Jericho getting in that real life feud where her sister was backstage, Nancy's sister, and was told to leave with Chris because the marks that she had on her body was from Sullivan. So there was an actual real fight after a show between Chris Benoit and Sullivan because he put his hands on Nancy, so Chris literally beat the shit out of him. Well, after the match was over, it continued backstage where her sister was told to get in the car by Sullivan that he was leaving with her, and Chris called Nancy and handed the phone to her sister, and she was told to leave with Chris because the marks on her was from Sullivan. And she goes, well, that's the kind of guy Chris was. So again, I'm trying to figure out, I hear all this good stuff about Chris that it's funny because now all you hear is how he wasn't a fan favorite backstage with the peers, how he never talked to anybody. He was mostly stayed to himself. And this is all you keep hearing is all this bad stuff. But you go back and you can dig back on YouTube far enough, you hear how Chris is an amazing guy and how, really, Chief? And how Chris did awesome things. He would give the shirt off your back if you needed it, to now it's all negative. I'm just saying it's kind of a coincidence. It's almost like they're trying to not just kill his name, but also kill his image. And to me, I just don't like that. I have heard a lot of people talk about killing the conspiracy of the Crippler with some of theirs. If you can find me a more compelling argument right now that states that I just read that 100% Chris did this, and don't give me steroids because I know a lot of people that's done them and not turned out like that. I have seen roid rage firsthand and have not seen that act like that. So I will believe Vince McMahon when he said roid rage cannot play a part because he's absolutely right. Roid rage and this is just straight up. I don't know. I don't know what you would call this. It's almost like serial killerish. But I do have a question for Ghost and the Chief. We've been following this Idaho murder thing, right? Why weren't they so eagerly to call that the two people downstairs as the murderers, but yet they were so quick to close this investigation so fast that they were easily to label it double murder suicide?
Because it involved someone that's considered a celebrity compared to two civilians.
Yes, that was more high profile.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, but you think celebrities would be held to a higher statue and everybody would be all hands on deck to figure it out?
Oh wait, you're being serious. Let me laugh even
I'm
harder.
being for real, 100%.
Should they be? Yeah. Are they? Not at all. I mean, come on. How often do you hear celebrities sexually abuse someone in the news and 5 minutes later there's a payoff and everyone's like, okay, whatever. Come on.
I'm talking about hypothetically here.
Well, hypothetically, you're right. They should be held to I mean, actually, now that I think about it, should they really be held to a higher standard? They're just people like you and me.
Granted, but they're in more media attention than we are.
So,
But you think that would make a difference because you know they got money.
It's not like they're people in power. They're not in power. They're just another run-of-the-mill person that got lucky throughout their life.
I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm going to have to do this.
Oh boy. Bring it, Insidious. What do you got?
Well, you just click something in my brain that just
That's a scary thought.
depends on how you look at it, my friend. That's another one for another day. Now I have nothing again. Why do I have nothing again? Okay, enough of that shit. So, I really have fucking nothing. Why are they not here? Oh, what's your guys' way? Those fucking videos.
What are you looking for?
Give me a sec. That's not gonna work. Too fucking blurry on that one. That is fucking weird. Why do I? There we go. Okay. Now I am going to screen share this because I finally found what I've been looking for. All right, I finally found the official crime scene photos that I've been looking for. So I'm going to screen share this and share my thoughts. Along with these guys are going to share their thoughts because I want them to. Deal. No, I'm not. There is no audio to this, so. I don't have a clue what this has to do with anything besides he added more weight. Red Bull and beer cans, great. I see more Red Bull than beer. Cop taking a picture of himself in a mirror. Yay. Guess where I'm at, he tweets. There. That's kind of what I'm trying to figure out. In multiple of these photos, these pictures are off the wall. And with that, I want to know your guys' thoughts. Why is it there's this picture right here is off the damn wall?
Someone's looking for a hidden safe.
Ooh. Could be. Good theory. Chief, your theory?
Nancy was leaving his ass and was taking stuff off the wall.
Maybe. Dark Angel, your theory?
And Insidious is on crack.
No, I'm being for real. This is actually one time I'm actually being 100% real as I can be.
Dark, are you still there? Did she fall asleep?
Probably. No graphic images. Another one here, picture off the wall. That one there's nothing. Ah, there. Notice there's two boxes here. This also didn't make sense to me. There's a computer chair over there, trying to figure out. I never understood why there was a computer chair there and then one behind the computer.
You have anything to say about that, Glenn?
Aha. The main one. Now this picture here is worth 1,000 words of its own. I wish I could blow that picture up. And I cannot. Oh, no, get back up there. What are you doing? What the hell? Zoomed all the way down on me. So, more boxes, more pictures off the wall. And I think some of them might have been hung here.
Sounds like they were packing to move.
That's what I was thinking. The same. Because, like I said, you see this box here is open. And in the previous picture, it wasn't. It was stacked. You notice that?
Uh-huh.
Now it's open. And I think these pictures here were inside that box.
Well, that means that
They may have been trying to move together, and if case, that means why the rush?
That's what I'm trying to figure out as well. I mean, the first time I saw these, I was like, what the hell? This don't make sense. And I'm also trying to figure out why there's a level here. Notice the desk, though. They said the struggle started here. So
It doesn't look like a struggle to me.
the only thing knocked off of this was the router. And there, more pictures off the wall, more boxes opened.
I still say it looks like they were planning on moving into a new house.
And like I said, you can see where the pictures were sitting. They were sitting right here. One of them was.
Hey, Insidious, not to. Actually, you know what? Maybe if I hit this clip, maybe it'll work.
I don't know. I was trying to
There you go.
zoom this in, but I couldn't get it to zoom in on me. Oh, in the DVDs, I noticed how they're stacked. You see the detective case, detective gloves. Here's another picture of the area. Once again, it doesn't look like much of a struggle, man. Shows a calendar book. And, oh, those pictures I haven't seen. So these are the pictures that were off the wall. Pictures of him and Eddie. Him and I think that's Brett. Him doing his diving headbutt. His wife, I do believe, is woman champion. Hockey team. Gold medals. Or is that Kurt Angle gold medals? Are those Kurt Angle's gold medals?
No.
Well, I see writing, but I can't make it out. And there's something else there. That's what made me wonder. And he liked to fuck around with Kurt a lot. Hey, there's something written on that box. Be nice if I can make it out. But looks like a t-shirt in that one. I guess that's the kitchen. Wow. He really kept everything, didn't he? Throughout his career.
Odd question. How come none of that looks like it's being packed up?
That is a major question, my friend.
Makes me wonder if she was moving.
Well, his sons remain packed up either. I don't know. All I know is the whole thing stinks. It doesn't make sense. It's kind of like the ones we've been following here lately. Just nothing adds up to even show double murder suicide in any bitter form of it. And I'm not being biased because of who it is. That's not it.
No, we know. There's a lot of things that don't add up, and you're just trying to figure it all out.
At this point, all we have is theories. I mean, there really isn't anything to really point out. It's just nothing makes sense. I mean, you could point it to the mystery guy that no one knows about, on how he knows so much about what happened before anything ever happened. That's the one that got me. And how come this guy wasn't a suspect or anything? Hey, Chief, was that the final score?
No, it's 51 seconds left. Niners are about to punt it to the Cowboys. So the Cowboys gets one drive left to either tie it or lose it. So can Dak make magic in 51 seconds?
Someone call Romo. Tell him to suit up.
No, if I know our coach, he's going to go for two.
Screw it. Someone call Tampa Bay. Tell them we need the GOAT.
Yeah, that ain't
Dak
good.
has two game-winning
We just
drives.
went from a conspiracy podcast right over to football.
Paul's on Crack podcast.
45 ticks.
Hey, Dark Angel, do you have anything you want to add?
Woo!
I know she listens. I don't think she does.
Oh, I didn't quite hear. What?
If
Do you have anything you want to add?
Seems like when the police arrived there, they just saw the evidence in front of them and probably just saw it as an open and shut case, and maybe they didn't investigate fully like they should have. I'm taking a guess.
That's what I think we were all initially guessing there. I mean,
38
just
seconds.
there's so much unanswered about it that I don't quite understand.
And when you mentioned earlier about how everyone in older videos saying Chris was a nice guy, then shortly after his death, they're saying the opposite. I was wondering, could his personality have changed within a few months prior to this incident? Or...
See, I thought about that until you listened to the Chris Jericho podcast. He said he never noticed anything different.
33 seconds.
And it's already 3rd and 1 at Dallas is 15. Yeah, Dallas, pack up. Your season's done.
They just got a first down, and Dak almost gave up 2.
Yeah, with 18 seconds left and they're only at the 24. He's going to have to throw a deep ball and hope like Kelly can success it unless he plays Tom Brady and throw it to that tight end and get down
10
there.
seconds.
Why did they stop the clock when he went out of bounds?
Because they're at San Fran. Sorry, guys. We're kind of watching the game plus doing this all at the same time.
Well, when you have 2 Cowboy fans in here, it's going to happen.
Well, that and this one here was a must-see game of the week. And by the way, it did not disappoint.
Hail Mary.
First down. Nope, second. Yep, first down, 5 seconds. We have to get a touchdown.
But we're
Field
still...
goal. The field goal does not work.
And it's 2nd and 10.
No, it's first down.
Not according to my phone. It's 2nd and 10.
Why do you think I downloaded the Fox Sports app?
I got the NFL app.
First
So.
and 39. But they're still at their 39-yard line. It's not going to help them.
And San Fran's already celebrating.
Yeah, 5 seconds left, and you're only at the not even middle of the field, not even at the 50. Yeah.
That might not be a first down. Both feet didn't touch.
Oh, are they reviewing it?
Looks like it.
You guys gotta pray for defensive pass interference.
Booth review.
Why? Do you think there could be?
Yeah, right there. Both feet are down. They call this back. I'm going to be pissed.
But they're going to go back. Did he have control? Watch. It'll be a Romo thing.
That foot's touching. That foot's touching.
But like I said, it doesn't get them up to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, whoever wins this faces our division rivals, the Eagles.
And San Fran will just annihilate them, I have a feeling.
Now San Fran plays like the way they did today. And the way Eagles played yesterday, they were
Incomplete. They're just screwed Dallas. Fucking ref's an idiot. All right, Dak, go for your patented Hail Mary. Let's do this.
He won't
Oh, wait,
complete
you
it.
don't have a patented Hail Mary. That was Romo.
or Rodgers.
If he nails it, you owe him a victory celebration.
Nah, if he gets it, Chief will go to bed with like a number 4 all over his face.
Hey, but they gave him the clock back.
Wow.
1 second.
Whoop-de-damn doodah.
And the owner of San Fran's already on the sidelines like, we got this, boys. I'll laugh. Dak gets it. We win because of the NFL owner celebrating early.
It can happen. Weird stuff has happened.
Mhm.
Look at this case. Come on, T.Y. Hilton. Show them what you're there for. I can hear the announcers talking like it's over, too.
Mhm.
Have they even made a play yet?
No, about to. Because the Niners called the timeout to re-line up.
If Dak was smart, he'd make them think they're going for a Hail Mary and do a double slant route.
And pray whoever gets it can run 60 yards.
Anything can happen in a day of football, especially if you give it the tie. That's the final.
San Fran wins.
Yep.
Didn't get his Hail Mary, did he?
He didn't go for it.
What the hell did he go for? A run play?
A short distance play. Which I'm not mad. It's my team versus my deceased uncle's team, so I ain't mad. But I hate to say it, San Fran, you're going to get slaughtered next week.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I
I
said
don't care if you have an Iowa State quarterback or not.
I said it. But I also said, watch, there'll be another time where a rookie quarterback goes all the way to the freaking
Or I'll copy Paul Heyman here. He called Brock Purdy the next big thing in the NFL.
Who did?
Paul Heyman.
Brock Purdy is pretty good. Hence why they had Jimmy G sitting on the
Oh,
sideline.
that's why. He went to throw it. One of the Niners jumped up and blocked it down.
Our O-line didn't hold him off worth a shit.
Mm-mm.
He didn't have time to really throw the ball.
I think it's going to be Eagles and Chiefs, even though I don't want Chiefs going back again.
All right, I think that's all we have on this segment, though, unless you guys have anything else you want to add to it.
No, not really.
Anybody in chat have anything they want to add to this? Maybe something I don't know? All right, with that being said, I think we're going to close this out. And that covers our Crippler conspiracy theory. And that's literally everything I have. And look at that, I did it under an hour and 37 minutes. And you said we were going to be here 8 hours.
That's because we both know you didn't do everything on your list.
That was everything.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Ghost both know there's more.
There is, but I ain't getting into it. If I got into my full conspiracy list of what I really think happened in this case, yeah, we wouldn't have enough time in the world to pick my brain. Because like I said, with this particular case, the theories are endless. They are. There's so much in this that it's just not funny. And there's so much the police could have looked into and so much more they could have done. Like, did they even fingerprint everything to make sure there was no one else there? Probably not, because they seen what was in front of them. And once again, that stuff you can't go back and get.
So that's it.
That's it.
You know, that's all I have. But that's all I got. I don't think anybody in chat has anything else. But I am firing up the PS5.
All right, I'll switch games.
All right. Want to run the ending thingy?
Thanks, Dark Angel, for joining.